Have you heard the new Toyota Tacoma causes cancer or can cause cancer? You know, I'm so concerned about this that you can see there is an empty spot in the garage and the Toyota Tacoma is gone. Now, let me tell you what this is. It says here, and I'm quoting from a reliable source, I'm sure, the concern is centered around the gasoline direct inject engine, or the GDI engine, emitting cancer-causing particles into the air. Now, what this is saying is that it does not combust the gasoline, the fuel, properly or in a manner that will not burn up these chemicals or particles, so that when you're driving your Tacoma around, the new Tacoma, you're inhaling this stuff and it can cause cancer. And I'm so concerned that I've gotten rid of mine. I just can't. This is one of those crazy things that some folks are putting out. And this was put out by a pretty darn big YouTuber, right? He has stated that he has no proof of this whatsoever, but it can cause cancer. Now, I got news for you. You know, basically living causes cancer, right? I mean, think about the exhaust gases that come out of the back of any vehicle. I mean, that's why you don't go in your garage, shut the door, and turn the thing on. That'll kill you too. It's just absolutely absurd. Now, there are a few other false things that we might as well get out of the way, right? Since we're talking about crazy things that people are saying about the new Tacoma. It causes cancer? Absurd, man. The next one is that the Tacoma, the new Tacoma, has tons and tons of active recalls. People are saying this, right? They're saying that I'm not going to buy the 2024 Tacoma because of all of the recalls. There are no recalls. Zero. None. It's false information. I think it must be the competitors out there. That or the people who are just so jealous, they don't want you to buy a Tacoma either. I don't know. Next up, transmission problems, particularly manual transmission problems in the new Tacoma. You know, there was an instance, I guess, somebody posted up a video or reported that the transmission in their manual new Tacoma was ruined. Now, from what I gather, from everything I've heard, it's because they downshifted from a high speed to a really low gear, like going from fifth to first. You can't do that. If you do that in a manual transmission, yeah, you're going to have troubles. Not to mention, you might roll the car altogether. Matter of fact, I would argue that if you're going to downshift from a high speed to, say, first or maybe even second gear, you better hope that something breaks in the transmission, because if it doesn't and the wheels lock up, you're going to have a big problem. Imagine going at 80 mile an hour, or maybe 70 or even 60, and shifting down to a point where the wheels lock and you're just sliding, particularly on a curve. The thing would roll. You would have a big problem. I would say if anything did break, that's probably a safety feature. It's just absurd to me. And as far as I know, if it even happened, it's been one time out of all of the Tacomas that have sold, one time. Now, the other thing is, nobody buys manuals anyway, or at least only about 4 to 6%, something like that, are even produced in a manual transmission form. So is it some big, massive problem? No. And I would argue it's not a problem at all. It's user error. And by the way, the dealership where this individual took it back in claiming a warranty problem said it was user error. It was caused by the user. I would tend to agree. Next up, the Tacoma has engine problems. First of all, the engine that's in the Tacoma, the 4-cylinder turbo, has been around in other vehicles for several years now. So it's not like it's brand new, something that's never been tested, never been used before. I haven't heard of any big engine problems. What people are trying to do, the naysayers, the trolls, the negative folks, is they're trying to project what has happened with the Tundra over to the new Tacoma. And if you're not aware, there was a problem with the Tundra. Several 100,000 potentially involved. Doesn't bode well for the Tundra, right? What it was is when the new engine, or the engine rather, for the Tundra, got to get these words right, for the Tundra was made, There were machining bits and pieces left inside the engine. Metal, in other words. And yes, that is a problem. It's something you definitely don't want to happen. But it's not happening in the Toyota Tacoma. It's a completely different engine. It's craziness to me. Again, false information being spread for, I don't know, nefarious reasons, I'm guessing. Next up, Tacomas are piling up on the dealer lots. They're not selling. Well, first of all, I had a comment this morning telling me that there was a big number of Toyota Tacomas on a lot, actually in the area where I am. What they did is they went out to the internet and they looked at how many Tacomas were going to go to this dealership. So that would be everything that was on site, something you could actually go, touch, buy, drive away in today, plus the allocations that were coming in. Now, let me say something about allocations. First of all, you don't know if they're ever going to get there, plus they're scheduled out. So for instance, if you go out to a dealer's site and you look up available Tacomas, for example, you're going to get the number that includes stock plus allocations. Could be 100 of them, right? In this case, it was 80. You go to this dealership site, you look them up, it says there's 80 Tacomas available. Well, they're not really available. There are 80 that are put to that dealer, if you will. 30 are on the lot. Now, that is still a lot. I think 30 Tacomas sitting on a lot is a pretty big number, but I'm also in an area with a big giant population. So to me, that's really not so bad. And it's actually good for the buyer. It means you can go there. There is some choice. You can pick out what you want. Lastly, the new Toyota Tacoma has reliability problems. Now, doesn't mean it causes cancer. It means it has reliability problems. I haven't seen any of this. There's only been, I think, 3 instances that I'm aware of anything even happening to the Tacoma. One was a transmission or differential problem for the guys that locked it up out on a trail somewhere. I kind of think that was their fault too. Secondly, that manual transmission thing that I was just talking about. And then thirdly, a louver problem in the front. If you didn't know, the new Tacoma has louvers in the front to control airflow, right? Apparently, and this hasn't even really been proven, I just kind of heard about it, but the hardware in there rusted and stopped the louvers from either opening or closing, whatever. And it was a very small number. I don't think it was more than 3 or 4, maybe 5. That was it. I'm sure Toyota has that resolved, if it even was an issue. So anyway, all these crazy things that people are saying about the new Tacoma, take them all with a grain of salt. And I highly recommend that if any of these concern you, that you independently verify them. Don't listen to somebody on the web spewing about something that they really know nothing about or have no proof of, like the new Toyota Tacoma causes cancer. Leave a comment. Let me know. Any of these things concern you? What else have you heard that I haven't heard of? I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.